Well, good morning. Bobby Lee here with Hurricane Creek Farms on a windy, overcast Sunday morning. But cows are waiting to be fed. Horses are waiting to be fed. I think even the bulls are over there waiting to be fed, at least one of them. Got to get to the cows up the road. Got a couple of little projects too we want to get to today, but we appreciate y'all watching. If you can, spare a split second to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, but let's get to it. Cows are fed. We got a straggler coming up. I think we might have one more straggler that didn't come up. Now I see her. Right off through there. So they're up. Horses are fed. Bulls now fed. Cats are fed. And the feeder steers are fed. Even though we've just got this one that's actually interested in eating right now. But they've been cleaning their bunk good, so on to the next ones. Our bald eagle right there. Majestic. And we got the weaned calves fed. So morning feeding is done, I think. I'm trying to think if we forgot anybody. But we brought the trailer on the Jeep there because we got some of these wire panels stashed over here in the weeds amongst some other junk. We're gonna grab a couple of those, take them back with us. We're gonna use those to make a water gap on the farm we're leasing right next to us, where there's just really nothing keeping them from getting out right there. And from the looks of it, the neighbor, when he had the cows there last year, they were getting out there. So project for a different day, but we're gonna go ahead and get this moved. It tried to rain on me there, you can see, for about 2 minutes. My idea was while it's still dry, where I can drive all the way back in there and get that done. And there comes the rain, trying to start again. But we got those two loaded up, don't have far to go. Hope they'll ride without strapping them down, but hope we can get in and out of that place, because down the creek bottom before it really rains and we run the risk of getting stuck. Made it back here. Looks like the rain's gonna hold off for at least a few minutes, but show you what we're working with as far as the project we're gonna need to do. So fence, which is not in real great shape through here, but it exists, and then stops right there at that post, and then of course Sadie runs through there and demonstrates exactly how a cow can get out. But you probably may not be able to tell, but there's a wire panel right over there. But kind of our idea is we'll take a small cable, and suspend maybe more than 2 pounds, I don't think we will, across there. They straighten those posts up, use it. And obviously when we get a really big rain, the creek rises, so you need something, you know, that'll either float up. That's why usually we just suspend that wire panel. But anyway, we'll show you that in a future video. We won't get to that part of the project today unless something really crazy happens, but we can get those unloaded. Just need to get those over here because it's not real easy. You can actually, and you may not be able to see, but like that's the house, our house, like right through there, and then I can barely make out some cows up in the bottom. But you got to kind of drive around the world to get over here because of the creek. We don't have a way to cross it yet where I can get over here with even a side-by-side without driving around by road. But thankfully, and I don't want to speak too soon, doesn't look like major tree damage just right around here on the fences from that previous ice storm. take a chance while I'm over here, walk around, just look at the pasture, look at the grass. There's some clover in here already, and we had overseeded that clover in here, what, a couple of weeks ago. Oh yeah, you can really see our place now. House right through there, just across the creek. It's back on our property, but yeah, it's grass, not anywhere near ready for grazing, but we keep having these spring-like temperatures. It won't take it long. Get up here in one of them bare spots, see if we can see any of the new clover coming up. There's a bunch of clover already in here. And I really needed to overseed it like we did, but we had some old seed. We wanted to go ahead and get it scattered. We'll fast forward now to Sunday afternoon, and me and my cowgirl friend riding her hoverboard there. Gonna go on a trail ride, see if we can get the horses caught back up, get them saddled up, and ride and check some more of these fences. See if we had any more damage from that ice storm than what we're anticipating. You coming? All right, so a gorgeous afternoon. It kind of cleared off. Still expecting storms. I guess maybe late tonight into tomorrow morning, but I think the thermometer on the car, we're on the way from church, it's like 78. Breezy, but a south wind, so it's really warm. You can see this grass out here is really coming on strong. A lot of clover starting to shine through. Got a lot of that wild buttercup in here, which is going to be an eyesore here for the next couple of months before it does its thing and gets out of here. But this will be ready for grazing before too much longer. We're going to kind of baby this again, just given that we just planted it last fall. But we're going to ride these fences in this next little pasture in this bottom. Check them. We just patched them like, what, 2 weeks ago, right before we got that ice storm. So be sure no trees have fallen on there. But yeah, Kaylin and Willis decided they were going to take it easy on a Sunday afternoon while Kimber and I went for a ride. So just me and the baby girl. Stuff like that right there is what we're looking out for. Fell out of that cottonwood tree there, but missed the fence. So I guess that's really not what we're looking for. That's what we want to find, is anything that's fallen harmlessly away from the barbed wire. But I don't see any big trees down out here for sure. Looks like there might be something up here, but we'll see if it actually got on the fence or not. And we're in good shape here. The top had come out of that sycamore tree, but I actually think that was older than this past ice storm. So I didn't get the fence either. So I think we're good in this pasture on this side of the creek. We'll I doubt we'll cross the creek on this pasture just because it's not a real easy spot to cross for Kimber and the pony. But you know, I always say I appreciate comments, questions, anything on the videos. I actually had somebody commented on a video a month or so ago about we needed to buy one of these little devices that helps cancel out the wind noise, wind interference. I had no idea those devices existed. I say device, it's just a little piece of foam basically. But I appreciated that comment. We bought one, and it's definitely going to be tested out today because the wind is getting it. So I guess I'll find out when I edit this video, and hopefully you guys are able to listen without all that wind noise. We had dropped those panels with the Jeep just right over there, just on the other side of them trees in the bottom. Those trees right there on the creek, just up there. So my plan is when we get to working on it, I'll just drive the side by side down there as far as I can. You know, have what tools I need by hand, just cross the creek on foot. You know, I don't know, I may wish after the fact that I'd driven all the way around. And who knows, we may end up doing that too. We'll just have to play it by ear when the time comes. Need to check the rest of the fences on this place over there at some point, and we will. And if there's a lot of other damage, then we will go ahead and take the side by side around, no doubt. But I don't know, I'm optimistic that there may not be too much. There's no way we're gonna escape having any trees on the fence, but so far so good. Yeah, you can probably really appreciate how nice this grass looks. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to one of my forage specialists and see exactly how long they recommend us keeping them off of it before we turn them in. I actually had somebody Southeast Dragger seed, where we bought all that seed, called me last week. I didn't get to the phone, and I've yet to call them back, but that's on the to-do list for this next weekend. I'll ask them what their recommendations are on how big we want to let it get before we graze it, and how quickly we want to pull them off of it to let them recover, just because it is, you know, brand new, freshly planted. Lots of clover in here, actually. Clover, the predominant broadleaf in there rather than the buttercup, which is not typical of some parts of this bottom. Kimber getting brave. All right, let's see how they'll do crossing the bridge. That's a good pony. Come on across, you make me nervous. Well, they came across there no problem. I was more of the mind of just crossing a creek like the cows do. But Kimber said she would not do that. She would walk the bridge, so. Pretty good pony. But yeah, grass over here looking equally as good. You can see where we had kind of a little bit of a food plot in there. This fescue and all was planted there as well, so it should be coming up now. Or coming up through there, I should say. All right, we get to cross a little ditch, either way. There we go. Come on, cross that ditch. If Ace will stand still, this is one of the prettier views on the property, especially with the leaves off the trees. We can see pretty much everything back to the old tractor shed, horse barn, hay barn, house even through there. Then over to the lake. Oh, pretty, isn't it? See this oak here? The oak had a whole bunch of damage from that ice storm. But again, we're far enough from the fence that it didn't make a difference. But yeah, I've always liked this view back here. We're on one of kind of the back corners of the property. And I guess probably the highest elevation point on the property. You can get up here, there's Sadie running across the bottom. But anyway, we got, just a few hundred more feet of fence to ride in these woods and see if we got any damage. Incredibly, that's the worst damage we found so far. Just that kind of limb broken off. It doesn't even have a wire broke. It'll need to be gotten off there. And that wire just pulled back up a little bit, but yeah, it'd be a miracle if we don't find something worse than that. All right, and so our worst damage right here where we corner with the pasture that we now rent, but this limb here, it looks like it did break the wires, got all the way down on the ground. So not a terrible fix at all. Can't quite right over there because this ditch comes through here and runs on down through there and hits the creek. But that is one spot that does need to be fixed. Not a super, you know, high likelihood place for them to get out, just because there's really no need for them to come down here and cross that ditch. But if for any reason they get to really hunt a spot, they can walk out right there. So we'll get that fixed. It won't, I mean, that'll be a, whoa, jump the log. That'll be a, shoot, a 20-minute fix or so. Well, I don't get slapped in the face. Be careful coming through there, baby girl. Yeah, come around the other end of that log. There you go. It's a pretty good pony. Kimber's pretty darn good. Horseman, horsewoman, horse kid, whatever you want to call her age. But we can get back out here and yeah, now that this fence here, which is a property line fence, but now that we rent that pasture, it's kind of really just a cross fence as far as our animals will be concerned. So we'll check it. We don't want to have any just real bad spots, but it's not as critical. That was a pretty fun afternoon ride, wasn't it? It was, and like we said, pretty amazing how little damage we saw from trees from the ice storm. But it's not too late yet. We're gonna go ahead and Get the feeder steers fed here a little early. That way we'll be done with barn chores. I don't know, I might take a late afternoon Sunday nap. What do you think? But that may go ahead and wrap it up for this one. We'll be filming again here in just a couple of days because I should have at least part of a day off from the office. And I don't know what we'll be doing. It'll be depending on the weather. I think the weather is supposed to kind of be kind of stormy this next week, turn off cooler again. We knew spring wasn't really here yet. We have like 3 false springs here in the south before actual spring arrives. And actual spring usually lasts like 2 days before it's then just so damn hot that you can't even breathe. But anyway, keep tuning back in. We appreciate that. We appreciate you subscribing. Appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. What's the last thing we tell them?
Eat beef and God bless.
That's right. Y'all have a good one.